What's up, everybody? In this video, I've got some new, amazing, and awesome Monster Hunter Wilds news. A chunk of it dedicated to PC players because there's been some new updates on the PC requirements for the game, and most of it being about a lot of customization options now and what's going to happen with like limited time event stuff in the game as far as how they've done it before in the past and how they're going to kick things off in Wilds as well, and some other cool things that they're trying to do for the game on launch as well as in the near future. So if you're interested in information on this is the video for you. Let's kick things off with the new updated system requirements on PC. Now, there is a PC benchmark too you can download right now on Steam, or if you want to go to Capcom's website to get it as well. And this game is literally just, 3 weeks away now at this point? And it's great that we had gotten a lot more details from the Capcom Spotlight or the Monster Hunter Wilds showcase the other day. And with this benchmark tool that they announced is available, the tool will need to compile some shaders once it's loaded up, but otherwise it's fairly easy to run and see where your computer lands. So I would advise you guys to download it. It's free. This will help you get a good idea that, see where your PC's at as far as checking to see what you can run in terms of your settings for the game, especially if you're curious about the updated system requirements as well. Now, previously, the system requirements for hitting 1080p 60 FPS with frame gen enabled called for an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2070 Super, or a RTX 4060, or an AMD Radeon RX 67 XT graphics card. And then when it comes to like CPU, either an Intel Core i5 11600K, or an i5 12400, or an AMD Ryzen 5 3600X, or an AMD Ryzen 5 5500 CPU, and then 16 gigs of RAM. Well, that has changed. So as we look here on their website, let's go over all this real quick. All right, full game system requirements here, starting with the minimum required specs. So 1080p, 30 FPS, Windows 10 or 11, obviously. And then it goes over the CPU here. So i5, either like 10,400 or i3, 12,100, or an AMD Ryzen 5, 3600. So there you go right there. 16 gigs of RAM still. Graphics cards wise, GeForce GTX 1660 VRAM 6 gigs, or Radeon RX 5500 here, XT VRAM 8 gigs, and then VRAM 6 gigs or more required. And it looks like storage requirements only 75 gigs and SSD. So definitely want to put this on SSD. Game expected to run at 1080p upscaled from 720, native resolution 30 FPS under lowest graphics settings, direct storage supported. So just keep that in mind there. This used to be, interesting enough though, when it came to the gigs, I think it was supposed to be like at 140. So they changed it down to being at 75, which is amazing in my opinion. All right, now we got recommended. All right, so if you want 1080p 60 FPS with frame gen enabled, then you want an i5 10400. Well, basically the same thing here in terms of the CPU gigs. GPU though, you want an RTX 2060 Super VRAM 8 gigs or Radeon RX 6600 VRAM 8 gigs, and then 8 gigs of VRAM or more. Still 75 gigs on the storage and SSD, of course. And this will be for medium graphics setting here, it says as well too, to help run it. And then if you want to run it high, and that's with 1440p 60 FPS, all the bells and whistles basically. When it comes to GPU, you're going to need RTX 4060 Ti, VRAM 8 gigs. That's pretty much the standard now. RX 6700 XT though, VRAM 12 gigs. But yeah. And then Ultra at 4K. The other option they add in here, actually this changes up quite a bit. So for the CPU, i5 11600K or 12,400. And an AMD, either Ryzen 7 5800X or Ryzen 7 7700. And then GPU wise, either a 4070 Ti or 4070 Ti Super with 16 gigs of VRAM, or you get the first one 12 gigs, or Radeon RX 7800 XT with VRAM 16 gigs. And then 12 gigs or more VRAM required. So keep that in mind. 75 gigs SSD, 150 gigs when installing the free high resolution texture pack DLC. So basically a total 150 gigs if you want to install that high resolution pack, texture pack. Keep that in mind. And yeah, that is pretty much where we're at right now. So I think that's definitely a big improvement overall as far as like from minimum requirements to ultra, and helps broaden the range a bit more for those that are maybe like on older hardware versus the top of the line, higher end. Now let's get on to what was revealed as far as like from the showcase, some really cool customization stuff that's in the game now that is more available to us than ever before. Also, the second open beta, which should be live right now as the time this video is up. If you want to check it out right now, personally, I'm not messing with it, even though there is two new hunts added to it, the flagship monster being one of them, and I just rather play the full game at this point, especially when the second beta itself does not have all the nice and awesome improvements that they've implemented in the full version of the game. That will be in the full version of the game when it releases. We did get a new trailer though, which is awesome, and revealed a new icy locale that players will be hunting called Ice Shard Cliffs, and it will be filled with disturbing giant monsters. These include flying creatures called Harabami, a giant unnamed dragon-looking monster that looks like a reptilian seahorse kind of, but also reminds me of the monster from Rise. I can't remember the name of it. I thought it was this coming back, but yeah. And then we got the giant spider monster called Nerskilla, and that's actually a returning monster that debuted in Monster Hunter 4. Another returning monster they showed in the new trailer is Gore Magala, which was the demonic flagship monster of Monster Hunter 4. Going back to the beta real quick though, there is some cool stuff they're putting in here. I don't think it was in the first beta. There, besides the two new hunts, they're including a training area and base camp, so you can test out and practice, pretty much all the weapons in the game available, private online lobbies, and online single player mode. But there will not be any of the new like weapon balance changes, performance improvements, like I said before, that they talked about and said will be in the full game. So if you do go into practice mode at least, and test out either one or a few weapons or all the weapons, just expect them to all play differently once the full launch of the game comes out. Next up, they talked about layered armor being a thing now for your hunter, your palico, and that this cosmetic system will be unlocked whenever you craft high rank armor, but layered armor as bonuses can be equipped from low rank. So you do have to wait till you can craft it at high ranks, just to be clear on that, okay, guys? There's no confusion. And the cool thing about this is basically transmog, so you can essentially put it over your equipped armor, so you don't have to, if you're wearing something mix and matching, it won't affect your stats because you'll still match and look cool as a hunter and flashy and stylish and all that good stuff. Then there's also cosmetic customization that applies for your secret mount, as this game will allow you to change the look of its feathers and equip it with cosmetic items. You can even customize the appearance and color schemes of your pop-up tents if you're into that. And these tents are where you rest in a field and replenish your supplies during a hunt. Plus, you can place chairs near your camp and set up background music while resting in pop-up tents. Then they're changing up a feature that was present in World, where it was like the hunter card, and that's kind of how you looked at players like profile in a sense, or like see how they are, so you get a good idea of how their playstyle is, things like that if you want to befriend them. So they've actually changed that, and now it is the hunter profile instead of the hunter card. It's an evolution of the Monster Hunter World's guild card system, where you trade profile pictures with your friends. It's been outfitted with cosmetic options, poses, and facial expressions to show off your character's personality while hunting online. And this next big feature is going to be their day one, and I know a lot of people are going to be excited about this. I may even get into it a bit too, just because all the stuff you can do with it is so cool. Photo mode, guys. Yep. That's right. You can now pause the game while playing a single player to take photographs of your hunts and show them off to the world online. So this will work in online single player mode. This will work in offline as well. Just very, very cool stuff. And there's a lot of options you can do, like different sliders and things you can utilize to help, edit and adjust the look of the photo you're going for and make it look more sharper, crisper, and just amazing overall. And then they talked about like the extra DLC stuff, which we already kind of known about since it launched, as far as like the deluxe version, the premium version. It's just all cosmetic stuff, basically. If you want to get that, up to you. Personally, I'm cool with the standard version of the game. And honestly, the main cool stuff when it comes to gear, armor, and even some of the emotes, stuff like that, comes from just playing the base game itself, not paying for the DLC, plus the limited time events as well too. which they are bringing back and bringing into Monster Hunter Wilds. I believe the dev said the first week after the release, they will have the first limited time event quest, I believe featuring Rathian or Rathalos. And this will start to allow you to earn special gear so you can further have more customization options when it comes to having your layered armor be what you want. This is typical stuff. They did this in World, they did this in Rise as well. I thought I couldn't be more hyped for this than I am already, but I'm just even more excited for this game to come out. I cannot wait to play it and just lose myself in it to a degree and just have a blast playing with friends, playing with maybe some new people in the community that come by, playing with the community in general. I think within this game is just going to be a blast. And testing out some maybe weapons I never played before, you know, creating some cool builds, making build videos and other type of tip videos with this game. Just cannot wait, man. This is a great time to be a gamer, a great time to be in the Monster Hunter series. And if you have not played any previous Monster Hunter games, don't feel bad. Don't feel like you have to play any previous ones. Jump right into Wilds, because the devs have said they're trying to make this, you know, more approachable for newcomers, and that way more people can get into it. I mean, look at how World did. Yes, the World was like a slog in the beginning, whatnot, but they're making this more streamlined a bit, more easier to get into. Still a fun challenge overall to experience, and just have it be a lot more fun. Obviously, from what I talked about in this video, there's a lot more options here from customization they're giving us, and game features and ways we can play the game as far as in either online or offline mode, etc. So a lot of stuff. They're going all out, plus them, you know, reducing the PC requirements so that people that have older PCs can still play it just fine without really any issues going on. And they lower the amount of storage space you need for the game. Originally it was like, what, 140 gigs? So they lowered it down to 75. That is amazing in my opinion. So kudos to Capcom for doing that. And I can't wait to play this game. It's going to be a lot of fun, guys. Let me know your thoughts on this. Are you excited about the PC system requirements now that have been updated? Are you excited about the customization options, the limited event quests, or anything else about this game? Sound off the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, hit that like, subscribe if you're new. My name is Mike, and I'll see you in the next video.